everyone. My name is Jocelyn Misilosica. I'm a Bachelor of Science and Entrepreneurship student of Davao de Oro State College, and I am here to share my simple ideas and perceptions about the word abuse power. So when you say abuse power, it is the application of one's official position for personal benefits is often an abuse power. This can take many types, like taking advantages of someone obtaining access to information that must not be available to the public, or just controlling somebody with the capacity to penalize them if they do not conform. Abuse of power or authority may be the prized source and true essence of moral evil. Evil is the abuse of power. Moral evil comes to be present when someone rejects to acknowledge responsibility for the welfare of others, especially those obviously under his direct concerns. It can be said that someone has power. If that someone can certainly manipulate the reality of others. So when we say if that someone can certainly manipulate the reality of others, they are the persons who didn't appreciate the efforts of others. They are the persons who humiliate the efforts that the other was trying to share, and to show their skills. Like for example, when it comes in the business. So as a business, we have the managers and the employees. So when the employee was trying her best, his or her best, trying to share, trying to prove that he is worth to the work that the task that is given, but the managers has the moral evil that he have no moral values, that he wants as a leader that he always correct, that he always knows something than the employee. So the employee feel manipulated or humiliated. That's the moral that's the when we say moral evil. So when we talk about business, there are also examples of the abuse power. Like for example, during this pandemic, we experience the ACQ in which we can't go outside to buy foods, to buy anything that we want, even our own needs and personal needs. So there are lots of business person who abuses their power. They put their products into high price but at a low quality, in which they they become evil for putting the high price but low quality. For example, during this pandemic, we also experience and we knows because we've seen in TV that in face mask with even before the pandemic also it I think it's 3 pesos, but when the pandemic came, it comes with 10 pesos or 15 pesos in each face mask. So when we say that the business person who offers the face mask abuses his power to manipulate us, because it is our badly needed. That's why they use and abuse their power to high price the face mask for us to be to high price the face mask. It's because he knows that we really needed that kind of face mask, because it is badly needed during this pandemic. And the other part, and when it comes in business, so the other example is the governor. So when we say the governor, they are the person who has the ability to make rules, to conduct rules and anything. And so since we are tackling with the governors, there are lots of governors according to the TVs that they become the thief. Like for example, as we all know, or with once, it is a fact that there are really governors because they are in prison right now, because they steal money from the governments for us to be able to sustain their personal needs, to sustain their own needs, to build good house, more businesses. And some of the governors uses drugs and selling drugs, and that's abusing power, in which they abuse the power just to ruin us. And that's the abuse of power, and also a moral evil, in which when we say moral evil, it is trying to trying to hurt and to manipulate and humiliate someone. And I think that's the abuse of power, by controlling us because they think they are higher than us. And that's my perceptions and abuse of power. So we have the ways to prevent abuse of power. Leaders, we were abused their position or often not in power for long. Some leaders start off well but waste the chance. They let power to go their heads, or they take advantages of their position and choose to advance their own interests. They change directions and in the end fail to conduct themselves with dignity and respect. So yes, as what I have said, the managers, or also they are also the leaders who abuses their position are often not in the power for long. So when they abuses their power, like for example, as what I said earlier, it was the government. So when the government abuses their power, he won't take long, because when the people knows that he abuses her power, he humiliated and abused the power that given to him or her. In the other canvassing, he won't win, because because as a person we are the one who vote the person who are responsible with the position. So as we've seen that they are not part or they are not good in taking that position, we're going to decide who is the next person who are more capable in that position. So those are those positions, or those mindset of being more moral evil is not good when it comes to the governors, because as a governors you have the ability to share, to make rules for us to be able to be good, and for us to make the organization peaceful. So there are ways to prevent abuse of power as well. It is to make the thought calls. So it is matigas, which we're going to communicate them harder. Like as a governor, if for example I am the governor, so I need to communicate to my employee for us to be able to exchange in knowledge, to provide something more innovation and creation of the products as a business person. Steer clear of the power of it is steer clear of the power trips, back upwards with actions, take the job seriously, willingly share the power. So when we say take the job seriously, we're going to take our job seriously for us to be able to know more. Because as a person and as a student, as an entrepreneurship students, we are not just able to learn something, but we are also applying it with ourselves. Or we are steer clear of the power to trip. We're like tripping. This long year we're able to have a trip of knowledge where we knows what things are we going to do in the future. And it's part of the trip. And it's we also not take the job seriously. We need to take our opportunity to take our course seriously for us to be able to learn, to have trips and anything that we learn in this. Willingly share the power. So as a students, we are not able to have to abuse our knowledge, to humiliate, to manipulate someone who didn't know. Because as a person we're able to distinguish who among the persons who are going to share, we are going to do anything. And when we let's come in business and we are going to translate it in business or part it in business, we need to be taught calls in business. And as a manager, for example, we need to make the thought calls to our employees, and we are sharing ideas, exchanging ideas, giving the chance that are giving the chance to speak our employees for us to be able to know more and to learn something. And steer the clear of the power. It is stripping. It is the power of trip where all of the employees are able to share their knowledge. It is a brainstorming of minds and we can able to make a good products, as well as the back upwards and action. We are not just aiming to say a word, but also words with action. Actions into words that can make innovation and creation of the good product, in which we are brainstorming our minds within the managers and employees, as well as steering the power of three by brainstorming anything. And it is taking the job seriously. We are able to seriously getting to know what more things we're able to distinguish and to think more possible problems and ideas just to make our business grow and earn big profit. And it's willingly to share. It's just like, for example, I'm sharing the brainstorming within the manager and the employee. So this would things that avoids abusing power, in which as a manager or as we lead as a leader to our own organization, we are not just thinking that even though we have the high position, we can manipulate and humiliate someone. We didn't listen to someone's knowledge or someone's advice, but as a manager that who have the moral value, and have we also cultivating an inner peace to communicate our employee in a good manners. Because lastly, as an entrepreneurship students, we are not just aiming to earn and building business, but as well as earning and learning to respect someone, and to have compassion to someone, and applying all the moral behaviors and cultivating our inner peace is the most important when it comes in business, as well as we are taking the risk and trusting our employees for us to be able to communicate them heart to heart. And that would be all. Thank you.